Hey guys, the Thetcglover here. In the game of Yugioh, there is a lot of examples of two cards that have similar effects but are compared solely to answer one question.
Which one do I run?
Of course, if you have the room and the two cards both benefit you, then do it. But running up to 6 cards that accomplish almost the same thing seems a little bit redundant, doesn't it? So to compare them is to look at their differences and align it with the needs of your specific deck. Today we're going to compare Mirror Force and Dimensional Prison.
Two really good cards that have similar effects yet have a few really huge differences.
At the most basic level, it's worth taking a look at what the cards do and go from there. But of course, if we didn't take a look at the card effect first, this would be a pretty shit video. So Mirror Force lets you destroy all of your opponent's monsters if they are in attack position and your opponent has declared an attack. It's been one of the most powerful cards since the game began, and it dropped to limited on the ban list pretty quickly. It doesn't target, which means that it gets past monsters that prevent that kind of bullshit. Dimensional Prison, on the other hand, is a different story. You can banish your opponent's attacking monster, essentially preventing that monster from coming back without the opponent having to go out of his way to do so. It targets, which can hurt it, but most of the time it won't make much of a difference. In terms of card advantage, Mirror Force has a huge potential to +2 or higher quite often. That does swing the odds in your favour if your opponent has overextended and used a hand up to do that. You'd be surprised how many players are still disregarding this card. It preys on opponents who overextend and do not realise that the game is trying to punish that kind of playstyle. Why should every game last for 2 turns in Yugioh anyway? Dimensional Prison, however, punishes the more conservative player. It hurts the player who prefer to play passive and run monsters that work on their own rather than with other cards in the deck. It fucks over Thunder King, which is a menace when it's on the field. Seriously, Thunder King, fuck you. It assumes that your opponent knows not to play their whole hand onto the field since they know it will fuck them over this format. It's much better to Xyz summon a big monster than to make a full field of inherent summons and go for broke.
However, making a huge field isn't as difficult as it used to be. Wind-ups need Magician and Shark, Rabbit needs Rabbit and Tour Guide, and Mermails need Atlantean Marksman and Deep Sea Diva. All are 2-card combos that produce a huge field that doesn't give a fuck. In the likely event for when this does happen, it's good to have an oh shit button, just in case 2 Torrential Tribute doesn't do enough on its own.
But what happens if your opponent decides, I need protection over damage, let's make a Stardust Dragon as soon as possible? Your face-time Mirror Force is the worst card you could want right now. Dimensional Prison laughs heartily and slaps Stardust Dragon like it just dropped the soap. Either way, it really comes down to what you're playing against. You can't go wrong with Mirror Force since at the very least it will go 1 for 1. But what good will it do if it puts the 5th Water the Mermail or the 4th Light Swan the player needed into his graveyard? In those real life scenarios, Dimensional Prison would save your ass and you'll be grateful.
So, which one will you choose? Comment down below which card you prefer, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe up above and click the links down in the link description as well. So until next time guys, the Thetcglover is out.